Okay. Good morning, students. I hope all of you are fine. So, am I visible? Students, are you having the clear visibility? If yes, then kindly say yes in the chat box. Yes, just you type in the chat box that you are having the visibility, proper view you are having, then we will move. Right? Okay. Then okay. Fine, students. So, students, in the last class we had discussed the relationship between tense and time. We gave a few examples, we discussed all of those. We found the relationship between tense and time, right? Sometime it was present tense and time is future, past tense, time is future, right? Past tense and time is also past, present tense and time is also future. So, to express the futurity, we found we are taking the help of present tense and past tense. We are not taking the help of past tense, sorry, future tense. There is nothing called future tense to express the futurity, because always a tense refers to a time. It speaks about a time, of course, proportionate to the happening of an action. Yes, the occurrence of an event, an incident, a program, or work, or whatever may be. Right. So, to express the futurity, it means actions to be happen in future. We go through the examples. In the last class we did that, and we came to the conclusion that there is no future tense, because in the examples that we discussed, to prove it, we never found any future tense. Even in some sentences that you came across, you had the genuine doubt also, that many of you told that, sir, it is future tense. Remember the example that we had discussed? I remember that, and I would like to say it once again. Like, if you say about number 3rd example, there we discussed, I will go to Puri next week, or I will be a singer in future. This is the exact example that we studied, we discussed. So, looking at the verb will, many of you told that, sir, it is in future tense, because will itself gives an indication that it is in future tense. But when we scanned it, when we analyzed it, when we did the very minute observation and minute analysis, we found that no, it is in present tense, because will, would and would are the 3 forms, and will is the first one, and the first one is the present tense, right? And as per the context, we also didn't find that anything future there. Similarly, I could be a singer in future, past tense, future time we saw. So, this is what we studied in the last class. Today, we will study the different usages of the tense and the aspects of the tense. For example, I can't use in every situation simple present tense. Similarly, present progressive tense I can't use for all the situations. So, there are some specific usage, some specific contexts, situations where we should use the appropriate tense form to make our language meaningful and to make our language correct, to make it accurate. So, students, for that purpose, I will show you a few slides through PPT. Just wait for that. We are coming towards that, right? Then, in scene 2, we will see window capture. Okay. Then Okay. Just wait for that. I hope you are ready with the notebook. So, students, simultaneously you will view the slides also, and you will note down also, right. For example, come to simple present tense. Can you give some examples of simple present tense, and then we will discuss the usages. For example, I am giving you a sentence, I go to school every day. Students, kindly write this sentence, right. You write this sentence, and it is clearly found that you have used this in simple present tense, but can you say by looking at the example that in which situation simple present tense is used from this example particularly? Right. Can anybody say this? You can use the chat box. Yes. Students, you can use the chat box. Then you can write for what action, for what situation we have used simple present tense. Okay, it is a habit, very good. Tejasvi has given the answer. It is a habit actually, and it is a regular habit. So, it is clear that in order to express a habitual action, I will use simple present tense, right. For example, now your duty will be to use simple present tense in case of scientific or general truth. You can say scientific truth or general truth, right. For example, can anyone, okay, black screen is visible, right. We are coming to the point. Suppose I am giving you an example, okay, ice converts into water by heat, very good. This is a scientific truth. You can say it a universal truth or a general truth also, fine, because any scientific truth which becomes very clear, frequency of clarity is very high, then it becomes a general truth, right. So, students, similarly, I am giving you another sentence, the earth revolves around the sun, right. The earth revolves around the sun. This is also a sentence with simple present tense. Can you say it? What is the reason? So that I have used in simple present tense. Yes. Okay, this is universal truth, fine. So, in case of universal truth, I use simple present tense, like I can say oil floats on water. This is also a scientific truth, right? So, whenever I want to express scientific truth, I use simple present tense. Then let us come to present progressive form, present progressive tense. Students, can you say in which situation usually, this is very simple also, we use present progressive or present continuous tense? Can you say this? Students, can you say this? Use of present progressive form, when do you use this? Okay. Yes, students, I hope you will get the textual version here. Are you having the clear view? Right? I hope you get a text version describing the module and the usage. Okay. Are you looking at this? Students, are you getting the full view? The full screen reflects just the material that we are discussing, or if you are having any problem, kindly write in the chat box. Okay. No sir, fine. Then okay students, just wait, and I am coming to the point. Then we will just within a minute or two, we will have the full view, right? Okay. Let us go on discussing this. Present progressive tense is used when we speak about an action which is happening at the time of speaking. This is the very simplest use of present progressive form. Whenever we speak about an action and the action is happening at the time of speaking, we use present progressive tense, or we can also say it present continuous tense, right? For example, I am doing this work, okay, as ongoing work, Edwin Joseph has written. Then there are some situations where we say using the ing form of the verb, but at that time, it does not necessarily mean that what about the action that I am speaking to you, that action is being happened, is being carried out or is being executed at the same time. For example, I am working on a project, right? Working on a project is a big task. It requires a long period of time, so many days it requires. But suppose one of my friends just met me on the way and asked me, are you working on the project? So, at that very time of asking, I am not working on the project. I am simply doing my evening work and doing my usual duty apart from the working on the project work. So, okay. Then students, so when I speak the sentence I am working on the project, it does not necessarily mean that at the time of speaking I am working on the project means I am sitting in front of the system, doing the addition work, adding the value and making the content, doing the statistical analysis and all those. No. So, I use simple present progressive tense or present continuous tense even when at the time of speaking I am not actively involved in the work, right. But presently also, in present days also, in present situation and present time also, I am working on the project, right. So, two different variables you found. First one, speaking and occurrence of the action simultaneously is being held, being carried out, but in sentence number second, we found the action about which I am speaking is not being carried out, not necessarily being carried out at the time of speaking, right. So, this is the use of present progressive tense. Like other uses also we will find that material is ready actually. Okay. Students, are you having the clear view? Let us see, let us just come back. We discussed the relationship, that part we have done, then we will move towards the next part. Let me scroll the text. Okay. Look the word present tense, simple present tense it has been used. Now our the text material is ready. What I want to show you, there you can see to express a habitual action. Example I took the example, it takes a walk every morning, 2 and 2 make 4 that we have discussed today. Then present progressive tense, to express an action going on at the time of speaking. For example, here we have written it is raining heavily. Yes, I have underlined the word printed in bold. Then I am working on a project, to express an action that is planned or arranged to take place in the near future, the next use. For example, he is going to the city next week. So, now students, can you please say me when will the action happen? In present time, in past time it happened or in future time? Just you use the chat box and give your view. Do we have to write this? Yes, especially you should write the examples that we are discussing, because for every aspect there are a few examples. So, at least the very examples that we are discussing during the ongoing class, that you must write, and the remaining ones after the class, because I will send you in the WhatsApp group this text material and of course, the PPTs also. So, now you write whatever examples is being discussed and the other details like the use of tense and the use of situation. Okay. Share in Google Classroom. Okay. I can send you in WhatsApp group also, right. Anyway, so students, can you please say me when the action will happen? Just look at the example, he is going to the city next week. It is being highlighted, yes. He is going to the city next week. The verb has been printed in bold, texted in bold. So, it is clear that future very good, in future it will happen, but now what is the theory? What does the theory say? It says a planned or arranged action to take place in the near future. So, visiting to the city or going to the city is a planned action. I have planned it, just like looking at the calendar, just encircling the date and write in simple one. Even you can use your cell phone calendar also, because whenever you have booked a air ticket or a train ticket, online reservation, then when you just go through your mobile calendar, it reflects that you have a train journey, that you have a flight journey. So, this journey is planned and it is reflected in the calendar in such a way. Similarly, when I want to speak about a action, of course, that action is to be happen in near future, but the action is planned, it is arranged. So, in that situation, I use present progressive tense, but one more thing is important here, it is in near future, not in a distant future or remote future, it is in near future, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks is okay. He is going to the city next week, we did that. So, in order to express about the future, we use present progressive tense also, right. Then he is committing the same mistake time and again. You can say it an habitual misdoing. I can't say the doing, because anything we want to express and that thing is something negative, like any bad habit like smoking cigarettes, cheating, doing a fraudulent activity to earn money and all those, even neglecting the classroom and the assigned work. So, in order to express such situations, I use present progressive tense, and those situations like not enrolling myself in Google Classroom, not submitting that in Google Classroom, missing the deadlines time and again. So, in that situation, I can use present progressive form, and it does not necessarily mean that at the time of speaking, your doing is not the misdoing. Yes, you are not sending the assignment and taking the scanning or taking the snapshot. You may not be doing that, but since you are the frequent misuser, I can write this. He is committing the same mistake time and again. Of course, 99% of class 9 students are sincere enough. Yes, now it is becoming 100%. So, now students, you got to know the different uses of present progressive tense. Then I will go towards present perfect tense, right. So, students, let me tell you, just look at the sentence I have highlighted here. He has just come. So, to indicate completed activities in the immediate past. See, always students remember one thing, even I am talking about the present tense, there are some reference of the past tense, because even in our day to day life also, my past has the effect on the present, right. Even in future time, there will be the effect of the present time. So, somehow or other, something or other, we will find a chain, and a chain reaction will take place, right. Whenever we will discuss the present perfect tense, just like in science you read the food chain and food web. So, somehow or other there will be a linkage, right. So, for example, I have used here, he has just come. So, now look at the structure, has just come. So, of course, the activity has been completed, and it has been completed in the immediate past, and it has an effect on the present. For example, somebody told you, did you take your lunch? Then my answer would be, if I have taken the lunch, I have just completed this, or I have just completed my lunch, I have just taken my lunch. So, taking the lunch is an immediate past here in this sentence, this context, but the effect is still on the present, because someone is asking whether I took the lunch or not in the present, and the past action is having an effect. He has just come. Here is the example I have given. He has just completed the homework, right. Then for past actions which time is not given, for example, I have done some work and I do not want to express the time. Let me say it very clearly. An assignment is to be submitted by, suppose was supposed to be submitted by 10th of September, but today is 11th, and on 11th in the early morning someone submitted it in the Google Classroom. And if I ask the student, did you do that work? Yes sir, I have submitted, but the student would not like to express the time, because he may get caught red handed, he may be pinpointed. So, he would simply say, I have done it sir. He would never say the time, ki sir I did it yesterday, or I have completed 1 hour before, right. So, in order to have an objective, sometimes we do not want to express the time, right. Suppose I have written 3 novels, I do not want to express the time. Suppose I did not take the permission from my higher authority to write the novels and to publish it, because publishing requires prior permission. I did not take the permission, but I have written the novels or composed the poems and want to publish it. Suppose I want to commercialize it. So, simply I would say I have composed that, I have written that. I do not have to say that I did that day or last year or 2 months before, no. I want to hide the time. So, such a context I have chosen here, right. I have written 3 books, no time has been mentioned. Then, when you come to the next one, you will say, let me read the situations with adverbs like already, often, recently, yet. So, these are certain situations. Of course, we find the use of adverb, and there I use present perfect tense. For example, I have written, I have already done this work. I have used the adverb. So, students, can you please say what is the adverb? Yes. In this particular sentence, let me highlight that. Okay. Suppose I have already done this work. Right, or just a little bit addition is required. Okay. So, it is done actually, the addition is done. So, I have already done this work. Can you please say what is the adverb that I have used here? Okay, I can see the chat box already, fine. So, now you just look at the theory, what does it say? I have already done this work. So, when I express something in present perfect tense, I can use the adverb, right. Of course, one thing is similar, you have done the work is completed, the action is accomplished, but it has effect on the present. That is the basic use of present perfect tense, right. Then students, we will discuss present perfect progressive tense or present perfect continuous tense. Now, let me clarify you with a very small example, easy example. I hope you will feel comfortable. There are some works which requires much time, For example, building a temple, constructing a dam or a building, it requires years actually, because it is a big project. The refined work, even at the work itself takes more time. So, suppose the construction work began 2 years before. I am talking about the construction of a dam. Suppose it began in 2018, now it is in 2020, another 8 to 10 years it will take, right. So, the action happened in the past, that is in 2018. I am speaking that in 2020, 2 years after, again it will work up to 2025. And if I say in the present, I can express this in such a way, it will refer the past also and the present also and the continuity, because the action happened in the past and is being continued, right. It is still on progress, it is still on progress. So, here is the example, student, you can find it. They have been building the road since March last. Okay. This example may be tough, but I am giving you another small example, like you are in class 9, right, in ACS 4 Rawatbhata. So, if any of you have studied here your prep also, like UKG, LKG and all the preparatory classes, then of course 11 years of study you have done in this school, right. Suppose it is 11 years, now it is 2020. So, you began your study, you took admission for the first time in this school in 2009, right. In 2009 also you took the admission, you completed your preparatory class phase 1, then gradually we have completed one after another different standards, different class, right. So, if you say this referring to the past as well as the present, also if you want to refer to the continuity, because it is in continuation, then you will use present perfect progressive tense or present perfect continuous tense. For example, you can say, you can write in your notebook also, I have been studying in this school for the last 11 years, right. Or I have been studying in this school since 2009, very good, clear cut example. I have been studying in this school since 2009, since is the point of time. So, you simply cited the year, that is 2009. I can also say the same thing, like I have been studying in the school for the last 11 years, right. So, from this example, students, I hope you got to know, you came to know the use of present perfect progressive tense. Like here in the material you have the example, like they have been building the road since March last, right. So, students, let me revise it what we studied today. In the beginning we had the recapitulation, just I refreshed your memory with regards to the last class. In the last class or in the first 5 minutes today, we revised the relationship between tense and time, how time is different and tense is different, time is same thing and tense is also same thing, that we revised. Then we discussed several situations to use different tenses and different aspects of the tense. I can say here different aspects, because today we only discussed simple present tense. Of course, we also went through other aspects like the progressive form also. So, in brief, today we discussed the present tense, all the forms that we discussed like simple, progressive, perfect and perfect continuous. There we found different usage, right? Like in simple present, we gave the examples of universal truth or scientific truth. Then present progressive, the happening of the action at the time of speaking. Even the reverse of this, not necessarily that the action will be happening at the same time. Example I gave you that I am working on the project. Then we discussed present perfect tense. Action completed in the recent past and still we have the impact, right? I have just taken the lunch. I have just completed my homework. I hope you remember this. And I hope you are noting down also in your notebook at least 1 or 2 examples from each section. Then we discussed present perfect continuous tense. We gave very simple examples like I have been studying in this school since 2009 or I have been studying in this school for the last 11 years. They have been building the road since 2005, right? And we also discussed the situations in which we use present perfect continuous tense, like the situations related to other tense forms. Okay, students, thank you so much. In the next class, we will see this text material. Also, we will go through some PPTs. Then I will send you in the WhatsApp group this material, this text material along with the PPT. Thank you, students. Thank you so much. Stay home.